I don't know if you guys have been watching this. There's a lot of weird stuff going on right now between America and China. So check this out. This is the New York Times headline. U.S. designates China's official media as operatives of... let me start over. United States designates China's official media as operatives of the communist state. The move is the latest in the Trump administration's efforts to counter Beijing's influence in intelligence operations in the United States. Okay, so I'll read you the first couple paragraphs so you understand what this article is about, and then there's something very interesting buried about halfway down. So, let's see, it says here, for years they have operated as news organizations in the United States, deploying scores of journalists to cover the major events of the day and to report back to their readers and viewers at home, even if the most important of those was the leadership of the Communist Party of China. Now, the Trump administration has declared them not practitioners of journalism, but rather operatives of the Chinese state. The State Department told China on Tuesday that its 5 foremost news agencies will officially be treated as foreign government functionaries, subject to similar rules as diplomats stationed in the United States. The new action was described on Tuesday afternoon by 2 senior State Department officials. The decision, debated in Washington for years but never carried out, in part because of concerns over restricting the freedom of the press, comes at a time when the administration has moved aggressively on multiple fronts to fight what officials describe as extensive Chinese influence in intelligence operations in the United States. All right, now check this out. Here's the interesting part. Okay, so, we've got all sorts of, what was it, 4 Chinese news agencies spreading their tentacles all across the media, across the country, and then posting their own version of what is the news. Here's what I say that things are getting kind of weird with China relations. In the past month alone, prosecutors have brought cases against Chinese intelligence operations involving scientific research at Harvard, the 2017 hacking of Equifax, one of the U.S.'s largest credit reporting agencies. They also charged Huawei, the telecommunications company, and 2 of its subsidiaries with federal racketeering and conspiracy to steal trade secrets. This is crazy. If you didn't know what was going on with the scientific research part, this was nuts. This guy here, Charles Lieber, the chair of Harvard's chemistry department, lied about contacts with a Chinese state-run initiative that seeks to draw foreign education talent. This guy, let me make sure this is the right one so I'm not spreading fake news on purpose. I think this is the Corona guy. Wuhan. Yeah. In 2011, the documents say he signed an agreement to become a strategic scientist at Wuhan University, entitling him to $50,000 a month salary, $150,000 in annual living expenses, and more than $1.5 million for a secondary laboratory in Wuhan. Just so happens, this is the same lab that Wuhan virus of coronavirus just got leaked out. So not only this, but just like within the last month, there was an individual stopped at which airport was it on the East Coast? An airport with all sorts of biological vials, samples. Okay, so then you got the hacking of Equifax. U.S. charges Chinese military officers in 2017 Equifax hacking. The indictment suggests that the breach was part of a series of thefts by China to use the data to target American officials. And then finally, the Huawei situation. So here's the question: what the heck has been going on? I mean, you don't bring a case against someone and just throw it at them. You work and you build and you get evidence and testimonies and all sorts of stuff so that you can have a rock solid case. Just in the last 30 days, in the last month, 3 different major busts against China. 4 now, technically, with the journalist thing. Now, this is bizarre enough on its own, right? But it gets weirder, okay? So, did you see this article? This is Pompeo. A couple weeks ago, Pompeo to governors, China is watching you. Okay, this is so bizarre. I'm going to play the video for you in a minute. Right here, Pompeo told about 44 governors at the National Governors Association winter meeting that they are being individually analyzed by at least one Chinese government-backed think tank on how malleable they are and how prone to cooperation with China. And he warned governors to be cautious on everything from business deals to pension funds to the DC metro system. I'm going to play this video for you. Basically, what Pompeo is about to say is, look, we have solid intelligence that says China is working against you, trying to impress you and seduce you into giving them more state secrets, into giving them investment deals, and allow them to wrap their tentacles around our national security, both personally and economically. So check this out.
Last year,
Well, come on, talk for me.
last year, I received an invitation to an event that promised to be, quote, an occasion for exclusive deal making. It said, quote, the opportunities for mutually beneficial economic development between China and our individual states are tremendous, end of quote. Deal making sounds like it might have come from President Trump, but the invitation was actually from a former governor. I was being invited to the U.S.-China Governors Collaboration Summit. It was an event co-hosted by the National Governors Association and something called the Chinese People's Association for Friendship and Foreign Countries. Sounds pretty harmless. What the invitation did not say is that the group I just mentioned, is the public face of the Chinese Communist Party's official foreign influence agency, the United Front Work Department. Now, I was lucky. I was familiar with that organization from my time as the director of the Central Intelligence Agency, but it got me thinking, how many of you made the link between that group and Chinese Communist Party officials? What if you made a new friend while you were at that event? What if your new friend asked you for introductions to other politically connected and powerful people? What if your new friend offered to invest big money in your state, perhaps in your pension, in industries sensitive to our national security? These aren't hypotheticals. These scenarios are all too true, and they impact American foreign policy significantly. Indeed, last year, a Chinese government-backed think tank in Beijing produced a report that assessed all 50 of America's governors on their attitudes towards China. They labeled each of you friendly, hardline, or ambiguous. I'll let you decide where you think you belong. Someone in China already has. Many of you, indeed, in that report are referenced by name. So here's the lesson. The lesson is that competition with China is not just a federal issue. That's why I wanted to be here today, Governor.
Yeah. What is going on? That is crazy. So, yeah, 5 major happenings just in 2020. Not to mention all the weird things that have been happening with China over the last years. Another one it doesn't mention here. Now, I don't know if this is with the trade deal that got signed in January, if this is coronavirus fears, who knows? But I don't know if you saw China just drop tariffs on a boatload of American goods by 50%. So I don't know. I don't know what to think about this one, although it does seem like that China is still not a friend of our country, not someone to be friendly with. I'm sure the people of China are just fine, hardworking, good people, but the party that runs the government right now, it doesn't seem like they can be trusted still. So that's all I got for you right now. It's just some weird happenings going on in China. So please share the video, like, comment, subscribe down below. That's how we get the word out. And I'll look forward to seeing you guys later. Bye. My name is Ryan Derks. I'm running from Missouri's 5th Congressional District, and I approve this message.